Good evening, TV Tony Milner here, live in the studio with track announcer Jimmy McNerny as we inch closer to the 36th running of the John Battaglia Memorial. Jimmy, we've got a field of 11 horses here. Besides the favorite, I think both of us can agree that there's a lot of good horses in this race.
Yeah, very, very good race, very well-matched race, and you make it the case for any of this. It's a very good field. Now, I'm glad to have such a good quality field as we start off our three-year-old stake event.
Well, this race is named in honor of my grandfather, John Battaglia. Many of you know that he envisioned the Spiral Stakes, which has become one of Kentucky's signature races. This year we're proud to partner up with Jeff Ruby, as you see behind us, for the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which will take place 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, March 17th.
So with the change in dates, Jimmy, what do you think that means for a Battaglia horse? Could they potentially win the Battaglia, go to the Spiral, and then maybe go to another race like the Bluegrass? Or?
Yeah, I think it gives them enough time where they can run in some of those races, and you're almost a month back into the Spiral, or excuse me, the Jeff Ruby Stakes now, and then it gives you another few weeks if you want to go to the Bluegrass, and then you'll have a good freshening for the Derby. But I think the placement allows you to take several options. If you don't want to go to that race, and I think 3.5 weeks later you can maybe try the Arkansas race. There's several options with it being placed where it is.
Well, even with the change in dates, I'm sure most of the connections here are hoping their horses spiral up onto the Triple Crown trails. With that being said, let's get into the field here. Starting with the one, Sky Promise, trained by Kenny McPeak, who won this race last year with It's Your Nickel. He also won it back in 2000. What do you think about Sky Promise's chances today?
I think the pace scenario sets up for Sky Promise. Like I said, there's several horses I think will benefit from that hot pace, and I think this one with the innermost draw, I think if Gilligan can just tuck this one in and kind of steer clear of the if there's any kickback or whatever, just find a good spot to save some ground, and if he makes that right move through the turn and the stretch, I think this horse could run him down. The horse merits a big chance, like you said. McPeak, always dangerous, especially when the money's down.
Well, I noticed he was the Fat Ball Guy's top pick. He's also my Uncle Mike Battaglia's top pick. So sitting on the turf board at, well, I can't see from here, but pretty good price right now.
Yeah, 7-2 right now, down from the 6-1 morning line. And, the horse has a good chance. Jack Gilligan comes in to ride.
Well, that brings us to our both of our top choices, the two Roaming Union. Now this one comes in off of an impressive maiden score in New York. He's trained by Kelly Breen, owned by George Hall, and that combination, they've had a lot of stakes horses over the years.
Yeah, they know their way around a racehorse. Very fortunate to have them come here and support our program again. And Martin Garcia, it says a lot for a jockey of that caliber to come in for this kind of race. And, so the horse does have a bright future. Dominant winner, like you said, New York. Broke his maiden by better than 12 lengths. Now, it was a 6-horse field, but this horse is faced much tougher than most of these in here.
Well, occasionally you'll see a horse that just really wakes up when the calendar turns and they become a 3-year-old, and maybe that's the case with Roaming Union.
Yeah, you always like to see him peaking at the right time. So
that's both of our top picks, and moving along to Driven by History, who's a bit of a synthetic specialist. Had a really good summer and fall last year at Prescott.
Yeah, I agree with you. Synthetic specialist, 4 winners from 7 starts. 7 for 7, 1-2 in the money on the synthetic. And this one owns a win, a stakes win. That was at the 6.5 furlong distance, but has fared very well at the long distance. Has only raced a mile twice. Never went on a mile and 16th, but I think this one won't mind the distance.
Well, you mentioned he's the stakes winner in the field, and because of that, he's got to carry 4 pounds more than any other horse in this race. So since his best race might have been that 6.5 furlongs, and because of the extra 4 pounds, that's one that I'm going to play against, but I know you've got him there as your fourth choice.
Yeah, I use him on the bottom of my ticket.
Which brings us to Family Kitten, and we both like the maiden a little bit. He's your third pick here.
Yeah, Family Kitten. I knew they had high hopes for this horse. Was speaking with Mike Maker throughout the meeting. This is one of their better horses they kept around here just for this 3-year-old series stake events, and has just been unlucky a couple times. And I think they're unhappy with a couple of the rides they got. They've elected to get Deshaun Parker in the irons today. They've also added blinkers on this horse, and of course the extra distance I don't think will bother this horse whatsoever.
I rewatched his last race where, truth be told, broke his maiden, and Family Kitten was really flying up the rail, but then when Petey Prentice made the winning move, closed the door on him, Victor LeBron switched out Family Kitten, and both horse and rider just looked lost. So maybe the addition of blinkers and the rider change might move him up. He is a maiden, but we've seen Kenny Ramsey, Mike Maker win an awful lot of races.
Yeah, I think those blinkers are making obviously they're not going to make him run faster, but they might make him focus a little more on his job.
Which brings us to the 5, Red Hot Patrick Huffman's Giant Honor. Winner of a maiden by 12 lengths last time out. Not sure what he beat that race, but he sure looked good doing it.
Yeah, he won by 12 lengths. Now this one was third to Family Kitten in the previous start. He did win. He's one I think is going to be hooked up in a speed duel early.
Yeah, he got away with some soft fractions last time, and I don't really see that happening this time, but with Carson Sullivan aboard, maybe he'll pop at a price. Let's move right along to Arched Feather, who won at Churchill in the fall, made his first start of the year in the Smarty Jones Stakes, didn't beat a horse, had a nice stalking trip, and just faded badly. So I don't know what to make of him here.
Yeah, I don't know. I did like the maiden break and win, 2 back, and then they must have liked it enough to go on down to Oaklawn and try that Stakes Caliber company. Does show a good work in his most recent work, a bullet down at the training center.
Good to note. Now we move to my second choice, Truth Be Told from Green Hill Racing Stables. Now, this horse is on a nice little streak. This will be his 5th race since the beginning of the holiday meet, but if you look, he added blinkers 3 starts back, and that really moved him up. He had an outside trip that day, but then he came back and won, came back in an allowance race, and he really impressed. I spoke with Jeff Greenhill. The dam of this horse has 3 multiple stakes winners already. She's already produced 3 multiple stakes winners, so perhaps this is another one. This one's by Awesome again, so Mr. Greenhill seemed to think that this one might be the best out of all of them.
You have it right from the horse's mouth. So Jeff does very well here trading. You know, he had a horse kind of similar to this years ago on that trail, and he knows the ways around a racehorse. I'm just worried about the speed duel, but this horse currently 6-1 on the board.
Well, he told me he was awfully confident in Petey Prentice. Let's move right along to the 8-horse Magical Meister. Only raced 2 times in his life, romped in a maiden at Mahoning, came back here, had a bad start, and ended up running 3rd to Truth Be Told.
Yeah, it was 3rd, beat 8 lengths in behind the 3rd choice on the Mona line. I think this one is better than that last race shows, though. Coming back off 13 days, but a clean break will be the key to this horse.
Well, I think I'd like him in an allowance race.
I would love him in an allowance race.
He might be a little deep here, so that brings us to my 3rd choice, Arawak, owned by Tabor Smith and Miss John Magnier. And this ownership group, they own a lot of Class of Stakes horses. As we see riders up, we're going to have horses going to the track here, and then we'll come back to talk about the last few races in the Battaglia. Let's send it upstairs to my Uncle Mike Battaglia for the post-parade call. Well, I'm back in the studio here with Jimmy McNerny. We just got a nice look of the horses out in the post-parade. The odds, it looks like you're getting a decent price on most of these horses, Jimmy.
Yeah, 3-1, the current favorite. Second choice, Sky Promise, 4-1, as we see Arawak on the track now. Arawak, son of Uncle Mo. You had this horse in your ticket as well, right?
Yeah, he's my 3rd choice. He has been off since December 7th, but he broke his allowance condition that day, so there probably wasn't much for him to run in locally. So looks like they just decided to train up to the Battaglia. They should have a fresh horse for the spring and summer. And this horse, if you watch his last race, Julio Garcia really had to stand up, looked like he really had to steady himself. And Gunny Rue, he ended up spotting 3 or 4 lengths because of this little incident. He ran down Gunny Rue with ease and training really well up to this race, so you can definitely make the case for Arawak to win the Battaglia this year.
Yeah, I agree, and a good series of works, most recently a 59-4, and I'm sure that was in hand. Wesley's been gearing up for this race, and Julio's his go-to rider. When he's ready to strike, he puts Julio on the horse.
The 10, King Valero's is the one scratching this race, so let's move right along to number 11, Halley's Hero. Now this is a Ben Colebrook trainee. He won the race back in 2016 with Surgical Strike. This horse has also been off since December, won in a 6.5 furlong maiden special weight. This is one that kind of hurts me not to put in my picks because I'm a big Ben Colebrook fan, but with this post position, the stretch out, he's just got a lot to do today.
Yeah, I agree. I always root for the Ball family and Ben as well. Just the horse will need to step up. I mean, the horse woke up last time. Sometimes when they break that maiden, the light bulb goes on and they figure it out. So looking for a good performance, 31-1, so there is some value.
And that brings us to the 12th horse, who might be the unluckiest horse at Turfway. He's been here for 3 starts, had a troubled line in all 3. The connections were really high on him last time. It was the happiest hot walker I've ever seen. But then the horse came up and lost by 25 lengths. So it's tough to make the case for him in a stakes race, Jim.
Yeah, I've been on him since the first couple of races. I know we spoke about him. Definitely troubled trips in the last 3, and this horse just needs a clean effort. And hopefully for the connections, they can get a piece of this here. And as they own this horse outright as well.
Well, there you have it, folks. I'm going with a 2-7-9-1.
And I went for the 2-9-4-3. Just about 4 minutes to post here for the 36th running of the Battaglia.
Good luck, and let's all go cash a winner.
Good luck.